So today we're doing the bald taper with the curl sponge on top, and I'll line up the beard as well. All right, so I like to start with with my detailing trimmers. I like to go ahead and bald out whatever sections I'm going to bald out first. When I start on the sides, I like to start from the temple and bring it down at about a 45-degree angle to the top of the ear. And this is going to be my first guideline, zero guide. And on the back of the neck, at the nape area, I usually go from the bottom of the ear and bring it straight across to the bottom of the ear on the other side. Right here, I'm using the 1.5 closed or 1.5 open. Now I go ahead and switch it to closed. I like to blend from the top down, just to create my blending space. So right there, I just went ahead and cleaned it up with the 1.5. Now I just switched to a 1 open, and I'm blending into that 1.5. Now I'll go ahead and switch it to close, and I'm blending that beard into the taper as well. So I'm blending up at the taper with the 1, and I'm blending down into the beard as well. Make sure you flick that wrist when you're blending in. It'll go ahead and add a little bit more shadow to that blend. So now I switch to the 0.5 guard. I'm starting to blend out that zero guide. So I start with that 0.5 guard open. I start my blending, and then I'll go ahead and I'll close it, and I'll blend out the rest of that line from the skin into the hair. Now on the back of the nape, I also do the same thing. Bring it up with the 1.5 closed, and I'll blend it into his curls right under the occipital. And I'll go ahead and I'll open it up as well and finish that blend into the curls. I pretty much do the same thing. I blend from the top down in the back as well, create my blending space, and that's my workspace right there. It kind of keeps my, it does keep my blending and my fades even and symmetrical on both sides of the head. Make sure you don't bring that blend up too high onto the occipital or cut too far into the curls, just because it's gonna lift the fade up too high in the back. So you just want to keep that blend really low on the back, so you got a nice drop in the taper. And right here, I'm just doing clipper over comb, just cleaning up some of the extra curls that my guard didn't get, and just shaping it up. And I also like to pick out the hair, so that way I can go ahead and make sure it's all even all the way around. Alright, now I go ahead and switch back to my wall detailers for the lineup. I'm going to get it nice and crisp and sharp. Make that corner nice and crispy. And just frame that blend. And also behind the ear, you also want to make sure you get that line up behind the ear. It just makes it look a lot more sharp. It frames the haircut a lot better, makes it look a lot nicer. Go ahead and get that line up on the forehead, and make sure you don't push it too far back. I like to pretty much just barely tap the natural hairline, and just sharpen that out as much as possible without pushing that hairline too far back. Now we're lining up the beard, just finishing touches and refinements. And once you get that beard nice and lined up, it's gonna fall right into the blend. There you go, nice and sharp. Make sure you get under that jawline as well. once all the lining and the blending and the taper's all done, I like to use some olive oil sheen spray. It adds a little bit of moisture to the hair. So when I go ahead and hit it with the curl sponge, it'll tighten up those curls. It'll make those curls lock up a lot tighter. So you either want to go clockwise or counterclockwise with the curl sponge around the top of the head. Make sure whatever direction you start in, you continue around the whole head in that same direction. So if you start clockwise, continue clockwise around the whole head. If you start counterclockwise, make sure you continue counterclockwise around the whole head. So you barely touch the top of the hair in a circular motion, and you'll start seeing the hair curling up and gripping the rest of the curls in there. And go ahead and lock in nice and tight. I like to start out with the bigger holes on your curl sponge first, and after those curls start gripping and getting locked in, switch it to the smaller holes on the curl sponge. Pretty much you just flip it around. Use the smaller holes on the curl sponge and it'll tighten those curls up nice and tight. And once you get those twists locked in nice and tight, it'll definitely make that blend and the taper stand out a lot more. It'll look a lot more fresh. The good thing is, as you continue to grow your hair, as long as you continue to curl your hair and continue to use the curl sponge, those curls will stay in nice and tight, and they'll just grow in. And as your hair grows out, it'll grow into those twists. And there you go. After I get done with those with the curl sponge and I get those curls locked in nice and tight, I like to seal the curls in with another spray of the olive oil sheen spray, and it just holds it in place.